Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I am dying. Seriously, I've been ill 3 times in 3 weeks. I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like I have a terminal illness and I'm going to be dead by the end of the week, or just as dead as Ned Fulmer's career. Because welcome back to another video, you sick individuals that should probably be doing something better with your time right now than listening to a random man on the internet speak about some random things that honestly don't really affect your lives in a day-to-day basis, but alas, you're here now and you may as well enjoy the ride. I don't know why I've been starting off these videos by insulting you all recently, but honestly, I just think most of you need to be humbled, because look at you right now. Look at you. Go to your camera, look at the camera and say, could I be doing better? Probably, but who cares? You're here now. Yes, let's just enjoy the video. I don't know what this is. Ned Fulmer. This is a man who's been in a lot of drama, controversy, situations recently. Pretty much, if you didn't know, the bloke cheated on his wife. It wasn't good. He was known as the wife guy. I'm pretty sure you've heard this about 1 million times at this point. Pretty much, Ned Fulmer absolutely, completely and utterly in the mud. And this situation now has been going on for around a month, but weirdly enough, the situation actually isn't over. No, in fact, the Ned Fulmer Try Guy situation has actually gotten worse. And my friends, you may be wondering, is this a new microphone? Well, you bet it is, because you paid for it, buddy. You watch these ads, and thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. But also, you may be wondering, how has this situation not ended? Fraser, this is a situation about a man cheating on his wife. Could it really be much more dramatic than that? Well, it's the internet, my friends. And if there's one thing I've learned about the internet since doing this thing called a job, if you can really consider this a job, I've just kind of learned that the internet is the worst place on planet Earth. There are people on this thing where they just like to come out in these situations and somehow take the biscuit for being the worst individual in the situation, even though they're not involved in the situation directly. And you may be thinking, Fraser, how can somebody be worse than Ned Fulmer? I mean, to be fair, there's probably a lot of worse people out there than Ned Fulmer. In fact, I don't even know why I said that. There's multiple terrorist organizations out there that regularly put But seriously, this situation is now getting to the point of where people are getting worried about the children of Ned and Ariel Fulmer, and not necessarily because of their actions in the last few weeks, just because of how certain journalists have been acting, how certain pieces of information have now been leaked onto the internet as like this trending hot button topic for people to gossip over. And we're going to go through absolutely everything, but I think we should mainly start this off with what has actually happened since we last spoke about the Try Guys situation. Well, firstly, the Try Guys themselves actually did release their long-anticipated podcast of where they spoke about this situation, and honestly, a lot of people were really upset about this. A lot of people were saying, oh, I can't believe these guys are so over-dramatic, and we'll get into that after the serious stuff. But even SNL spoke about this situation where they released a skit, I guess, about the whole thing. And the thing with SNL that always impresses me is that they always manage to one-up themselves. They could release the worst, most unfunny piece of content that you've ever seen known to mankind, and yet a week later, they'll just up that. They'll release something even more unfunny. I don't know how you keep doing it. Like, every single week, SNL are like, you know what, boys? We're gonna get unfunnier and unfunnier and unfunnier. And you know what? We're gonna get fucking Elon Musk in a Luigi outfit. It's like, boys, stop. You should have stopped this like 20 years ago. But funnily enough, SNL being the most unfunny institution on planet Earth isn't actually the main issue. As I said, the main problem with this situation, in my personal opinion now, and to the worry of a lot of other people out there, is that the children in this situation are now being put in danger. And you may be wondering, how is that possible? Because obviously, up until this point, it does just seem that, yes, the internet being the internet is naturally going to discuss one of the most beloved content creators being exposed for not actually being who they present themselves to be on the internet. Now, naturally, I personally think that's absolutely fine to discuss. You are more than welcome to get upset at the fact that Ned Fulmer is indeed a bellend. I've made 3 videos about this situation. I would be a complete utter hypocrite if I criticized other people for doing that, but that isn't the issue. The issue is people going a little bit too far. The issue is people thinking that they need to be FBI investigators in a situation which just really doesn't fucking involve them. This has now led to private information being exploited to the public, allowing people to pretty much be able to follow around the Try Guys as much as they want, because now number plates are being exposed. Now the behavior of going up to these people in public like they're zoo animals is becoming a normality, and it's just leading to a very, very dark situation, which just isn't I think okay, but this isn't just with the Try Guys, this is just something which I see in celebrity culture, and I have seen for a very long time, and something that I've regularly been weirded out by, and we will go into that. It's time to actually get into the topic of some journalists just being very, very uncomfortable, and this all begins in the good old month of May 2022, also the month known for... Well, actually, I don't know. Has anything actually happened this year other than, like, Russia being... I don't actually think anything good has happened this year. Well, May 2022. Let's just go there anyway. Basically, in that time period, there was a Reddit post made, which honestly, it contains information which you shouldn't do, basically. In May 2022, there was a post made saying at 5:45 p.m, people were pretty much just doing the deed in a car. People were doing something which you surely shouldn't do, because for one, they said that it was in an area surrounded by families and kids, and just in general, public indecency is not a good thing. I don't want to see you doing the old, I don't need to see it, you don't want to see me doing it, and I certainly don't want to see you fuckers doing it. So basically, public indecency is bad, but you may be thinking, well, how does this tie into Ned Fulmer, Fraser? Because, I've had sex in a car. I haven't. I need to clarify. I've never. I think it should be banned, actually. But yeah, aside from that, you're probably thinking, how does this tie into Ned Fulmer? Well, pretty much, this then comes into the whole journalist thing of journalists being a little bit too comfortable with their careers and jobs. You went to university to do this. You spent thousands of dollars to follow a man around and record him whilst he is simply trying to get into his car. Even if you don't like him, that is a little bit weird. And you're probably thinking, Fraser, this is a mess. Just get to the point. Okay, so basically, people think that this Reddit post is actually Ned Fulmer. People think that this guy who was doing the deed in his car, surrounded by families and children, obviously I'm not saying they intended for them to see, but in an area where there were families and kids, people think it was Ned Fulmer, because pretty much people took the number plate from that Reddit post in May 2022 and they attributed that to a number plate in a video from a paparazzi journalist person of where they pretty much went up to Ned Fulmer and Ariel Fulmer and were just asking them a bunch of questions. And honestly, this is where it starts to get a little bit dangerous, a little bit uncomfortable, because when we start to make people's number plates trend, that's not a good thing. And now I have actually seen the weird defense of these actions of where people have been like, oh, well, you can't technically get any information from a number plate. That's actually not true, I'm pretty sure. I googled it, and apparently if you have somebody's number plate, you very, very much can take that number plate and use it for exploitative means. You can get somebody's private information, other pieces of information from just having a number plate. If you pay somebody to take that number plate and do something with it, that's absolutely a possibility. And I think that's very, very worrying when there are children in this situation, but not just children. Innocent people that have done absolutely nothing wrong in this situation are now having their privacy exploited because people just need an extra scoop. They can't just write their journalistic article. They've got to go a step so far of where they actually go to these people in public. It's like, boys, relax, chill out. You've got to realize what you're doing is absolutely wrong. And even if you couldn't get a piece of information from somebody's number plate, just knowing the number plate is an identification that that is this family's car and there is possibly going to be these people in that car, and that is dangerous information for the whole entire public to know. At the end of the day, when we start to share number plates, when we start to share personal pieces of information, it goes to boundaries and territories which I'm not personally comfortable with. And I understand a lot of people will say, but
Fraser, you're making a video about it.
Yes, I am a hypocrite. But the only reason for this is because so many people have made this trend now. It was trending on Reddit. It was all over Twitter. It was all over YouTube. TikToks with millions of views of people being like, oh, I took his number plate and compared it to another number plate. So yes, I obviously feel like at this point, with this story being absolutely massive and another case of paparazzi culture going insane, I think I do finally need to speak about this. You've probably realized that this topic actually happened around a week or two ago now, and I'm only now getting to it, and that's mainly because I had to wait and see see, is this story going to blow up? And it absolutely has. And I'm not even criticizing people for talking about it. I think that my fellow YouTubers, my fellow TikTokers, they are more than entitled to speak about it. And the only real issue I have here lays with the people that originally put this content out there now. This is a trending thing. This is publicly available to absolutely everyone now. I don't think that's a good thing, but ultimately that's what we are living with. That's what we are dealing with. And I think the best thing we can possibly do now is take this and say, guys, is paparazzi culture going a bit too far? And I think we should have asked that question around 10 years ago. There are so many celebrities that have had mental breakdowns because of the paparazzi. And I'm not saying speaking about topics is a bad thing. I literally do that for a job. What I'm saying is going up to people and borderline harassing them in public, in my personal opinion, is not a good thing. And yes, I do think public indecency is obviously a bad thing, but ultimately the one thing we should take about this is there is really no direct evidence that Ned was doing the dirty deed with Ariel in this situation, or doing it with the person he cheated with in this situation. But secondly, why are you shocked? For one, I don't really understand why anybody's shocked. The guy hasn't really painted a good reputation for himself in the last month. And again, this isn't a justification. Public indecency is bad, and I absolutely think you are completely valid in saying that and valid making your videos and tweets about it. But I do have to say, again, how we actually got here by spreading all of this sensitive information to get to the spot, to me, it's just uncomfortable, and I think it is putting people's private information at risk and possibly putting children in danger, and I just think that's obviously wrong. I am deliberately blurring these videos and number plates in this because I just don't feel comfortable with showing it, because honestly, yes, I am a hypocrite, even though I'm saying I'm a hypocrite, but I at least want to have some form of decency in this. But sadly, this situation is trending, and now people are worried about the safety of Ned and Ariel's children, and I honestly can agree with that. As much as it's fine to be critical of Ned Fulmer, I think when it gets to a point of where we are now breaching the privacy of this family, I don't think that's right. Regardless if you think if Ned Fulmer is a bad person or not, it doesn't give you the right to take their private information and get it out there. And you may say, oh, but I could just go past their car and the number plate's there. Okay. And you could also come to my flat, see the flat number, see me coming out of it, and think, oh, wow, he lives there. I guess this is technically public information because I've seen that. No, it's not. Please don't leak my address. Don't do that. Although people have done that, but it doesn't exist anymore, so you can't go and find it. But I'm saying here, just because you see a famous person in public, not saying I'm famous, but somebody like Ned Fulmer, it doesn't give you the right to then go and post his number plate everywhere, post his car everywhere, harass him in public like you're doing here. And I know people will say, this isn't harassment. Let's just take a look at this journalistic piece of video.
Ned Fulmer and Ariel Fulmer say they are working on working things out.
Hi guys. Hey, are you guys working things out?
Yeah.
You are?
We're working things out.
Well, that's good to hear. Hi Ariel. Hi Ned. Hey, what's next in your career, Ned?
We
Okay.
pick up our kids.
Okay, sure thing. Have a good day.
I've always kind of found it strange that this is such a normalized type of behavior. Even if you don't like these people, and it's weird that I even have to preface with what I'm saying here with, even if you don't like this person, but even if you don't like this person, it doesn't give you the right to follow them around with a video camera being like, oh, you gonna work on your marriage? You gonna work on your marriage, Ned? You gonna work on Ariel? You gonna work on Ariel? It's like, boys, leave him alone. Go away. Because the thing is, right, the magical thing is that so many people are like, oh yeah, I care about Ariel. I really care about these people. And it's like, well, if you did, you would have realized 2 days before they went to this person's car whilst they were just trying to get into the car, Ariel posted on Instagram basically saying, lads, could you please give us privacy? Please, could you respect that? And journalists are like, well, I care, Ariel. We just want to know, are you working on it? Are you fucking working on it? It's like, boys, relax. You can write your little documentary opinion pieces, whatever you want to do. You can make your YouTube videos like we're doing right now. But it's a bit different when you're going up to them in public and posting it on the internet. These journalists don't care. Now, I'm not saying all journalists bad. Journalists are integral to society, and there are a lot of wonderful journalists out there. I'm friends with some journalists, but what this person is doing isn't journalism. It's being a fucking vulture. This person could be the nicest person on planet Earth, but running up to people's cars under the justification of, oh, I don't like that one guy because he cheated. And I get it. It's a bad thing. I've criticized him in 3 different videos. But it still doesn't give me the right to run up to these people. It's not like this person has committed a heinous crime. Now, yes, there are questions about power dynamics. I understand that. But in this case, in this situation, when you're going up to somebody getting into their family car where the number plate is on display and now is being published around the internet to millions of people because of your video and invasion of privacy, I don't think that's a good thing. And I think this situation is progressively getting worse because so many clout-hungry people are out there desperate for a little slice of the pie. A little bit of pie. I like pie, but, you know, sometimes you've got to make the pie yourself. What I'm saying there is just go write your little journalistic piece. That's fine. If you want to make 7,000 articles, that's fine. This is my 4th video about this situation. I think that's fine. And the reason I think that's fine is because I haven't gone up to Ned and Ariel Fulmer and recorded them and been like, you guys going to work on it? Stop. Don't do that. That's fucking weird. I understand a lot of people now may be thinking that I'm defending Ned Fulmer. I'm absolutely not doing that. Like, I really don't understand why I even need to keep, like treading on glass here. I'm saying that this sort of behavior is only dangerous because I think it puts people at risk by displaying the public information, allowing people to even know what their car looks like, allowing people to see their number plate. I just think that when we are publicly displaying this information, it's just very, very uncomfortable. And I think maybe as a society, we need to start saying, guys, is it a little bit weird that we've normalized the behavior of running up to people with cameras because we think they know them because they post videos on the internet or because they're slightly famous? I think it's very weird that we do that. And honestly, I think the only good thing that this type of journalism has ever done is caught this footage on camera.
Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every day.
Yes, this may be the best video I've ever seen in my fucking life, and it may definitely be me after I have a slightly spicy piece of Nando's, but I still think it's a little bit weird that this is even recorded. But with Shane Dawson, it's a little bit different. That man hires predators, does weird videos, involve, you know, a lot of weird stuff. But Ned Fulmer, cheating on his wife, bad, you know, power dynamics, bad. But I still don't think it gives you the right to run up to him and his family, despite the request for privacy, and record them. I think that doesn't justify the behavior. Maybe we just need to say, I think this type of journalism is okay when it's actually terrible people. Maybe we can do it with that. Like, why don't we start doing this to nonces? Why do we start doing that? Anybody seen James Charles recently? No, I'm not. No, I need to say, I'm not advocating for this. I'm joking. Do not go up to people, all right? Don't do it. But I'm saying, if you are going to do it, maybe just make sure that the target is an actual horrific person. And not horrific in the sense of Ned Fulmer, horrific in the sense of, oh, they have actually committed an atrocity. And now maybe the Try Guys videos are an atrocity themselves. That's up for you to decide. But I'm not going to make that decision today. Now, I've been covering internet stuff for a very long time. I've been speaking about certain situations every single week since like 2017. But the problem is, with nearly every single situation, you'll always find somebody that takes it a little bit too far, and that makes pretty much the entire situation crumble in on itself, and the valid criticisms right at the beginning kind of just gets forgotten about because you have somebody that just could not fucking help themselves. They had to take it so far that the entire thing, all of the criticism, is no longer heard because, yes, people are just absolutely, let's say it, desperate to make a little bit of money. And I do have to say, hey, I love money. This video is literally sponsored. This video is going to make me money. I am aware of that, but I'm not going to these people's houses. You can make money speaking of public things, doing your videos, doing your articles. That's fine, but just don't take it too far. But yes, in my personal opinion, this whole situation is just in general getting worse and worse to the point of where children are now being put at risk because private and confidential information is now being put out there into the public eye, and I think that's very dangerous. A lot of people could say, you're reaching, I don't think it could really lead to much. Honestly, I think that's a very silly opinion to make when we have seen so many cases of YouTubers and influencers and celebrities being followed just based on little fragments of information that these people have found via the internet. And now when journalists are posting the actual car that they use, the number plate that they have, it just feels very uncomfortable to me. And even if there is like an Instagram post out there or an unknown video out there of, I don't know, their car, I still think this type of behavior of actually going up to them still isn't justified. Like, even if they themselves have posted maybe a little bit of confidential information, I still don't think that justifies the behavior of actually going up to these people when they themselves aren't recording it. If they want to record things, they are entitled to. But you claiming that it's okay to do it because you're a journalist, in my opinion, it's absolutely fucking bullshit. Now, in regards to journalists and vultures in this situation, there have been other allegations or things to do with BuzzFeed employees apparently being disappointed that they didn't earn enough followers or clout from the situation of Ned Fulmer cheating on his wife and betraying the trust of his friends, family, and children. Honestly, bit fucking weird, but just look at his TikTok for a second.
Keith's wife, Becky, has been sticking up for her in this entire situation, especially against BuzzFeed employees who she felt were trying to get in on this situation in a very bad way. She had posted a TikTok saying, "Me when I saw a current BuzzFeed employee using other people's pain to promote their own project and then complain they didn't get enough IG followers from it. Boo." She later said that the employee did reach out to her and ended up apologizing, so she took that original one down.
So I deleted that last TikTok because I got a very sincere and genuine apology. If there's anything that can be learned from this an experience I feel like we're all collectively having right now, is that the things you put on the internet are there. They are there forever. And people see them. Real people see them. So the next time you're gonna like tweet something that you think is funny or post, I don't even know. Just real people can see these things. So let's just relax.
Now, my friends, there isn't really any evidence to suggest this is true, but the fact that they have actually taken down their TikTok because they said that they got an apology makes me think that, yeah, maybe it is true, but ultimately, there is just a case of so many people are embarrassing themselves in this Ned Fulmer situation more than Ned. SNL putting out one of the worst videos they've ever put out, if not the worst. It was genuinely fucking terrible. The people going up to Ned and Ariel Fulmer despite the request of privacy, embarrassing. Now, apparently these BuzzFeed employees getting sad because they're not getting followers off somebody's, I guess, turmoil or trouble. Now, ultimately, I understand that I myself profit off speaking about these things, but if I say to you, oh guys, I was really sad that I didn't get subs off that video speaking about a child predator, I think you would have the right to say, Fraser, that is fucking weird, because it is weird. And I think there's this really weird problem right now of so many people have become clout obsessed that it's made us forget actual normal human behavior. And everything I have seen in this situation isn't fucking normal. I'm going to end this video by taking a look at this Reddit post of where people are basically saying on the Try Guys Reddit that this situation is now pretty much just being exploited for clout, for people desperate to get drama. And honestly, I think I can completely agree with this post. As much as the person writing the post may hate me because I've made 3 videos about this situation, it's now going past the point of speaking about Ned Fulmer and why we disagree with his actions. It's just clearly getting to the point of where people are absolutely unbelievably desperate to get some form of, I guess, new content, which is leading to journalists going up to these people because, oh, everyone's saying the same thing. You know what would be a bit different if I actually recorded them in real life with new footage, which everyone would use in their videos. It's weird, but it's sadly the reality of the social media world. And I think if there's one thing to take from this video is, my God, fellas, we need to stop this fucking weird behavior that's become normalized because of paparazzi culture. It's bizarre. It's honestly one of the weirdest possible things that I've ever seen. And this isn't just applicable to Ned Fulmer and Ariel Fulmer. It's applicable to pretty much anybody that the paparazzi do this to that isn't a horrific criminal. I never really see this behavior with actual terrible people. It's weird that I've never seen reason Dan Schneider followed down the Hollywood boulevard, it's not the defense of Ned Fulmer. I think Ned Fulmer is a fucking bellend, but ultimately, I don't think it justifies breaching privacy, especially when that privacy could possibly affect children in this situation and also just affect innocent people in this situation. Because yes, Ned's actions have led to all of this, and Ned should feel guilty that he is constantly jeopardizing his family's, I guess, safety, privacy, because ultimately he knew that him cheating on his wife would lead to stuff like this, regardless of if it's justified or not. He should have known what that territory would lead to. Ned is a bad guy, but that does not justify you being a weird stalker freak. So please, just for the love of God, stop. I'm going to kind of conclude this video by saying it is weird to me how we've kind of normalized this like celebrity zoo culture in society. I don't know when it became normal to chase around people with cameras, especially when Ariel Fulmer herself has literally posted on Instagram, hey guys, could you basically leave us the fuck alone? And people saw that and were like, you know what, Ariel, I can pretend to acknowledge that and care. But also I need money. I think it's weird. I think we really need to kind of have a conversation about this type of content. It's fucking bizarre to me. Again, for the 50th time, I'm not attacking people for speaking about things. I literally do that for a career. But I do have to say, there's speaking about things and then there's actual fucking harassment. But that is the ending of this video. I understand if this was a little bit messy. Honestly, I'm a little bit fucking really ill right now. I can barely think straight, but I think this video was well articulated enough to justify putting onto my YouTube channel. Please, for the love of God, if you did enjoy this video, like it, comment, and all that good stuff. I'm going to be in New York next week, so maybe the videos might seem a little bit different. I'm gonna have a video responding to a certain response coming out this week, but that's going to be in a podcast format, but it'll be edited like a normal video. Basically, normal service will probably resume in a week's time, but either way, subscribe to my podcast, subscribe to this channel, and also thanks again to Established Titles for sponsoring this video. Have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out. Bye.
People have been like, oh, they're snakes. But aside, to be honest with you, cheated on his wife, which is not only a betrayal of his wife, it's over his kids' lives, because his kids have now got to grow up realizing that their dad's been completely villainized over the internet.
I love my wife so much, I will never do anything to hurt my wife.
To be honest, I don't think I agree.
Okay, if you're still at this point of the video, I really don't know why, but I'm just going to say, go subscribe to my podcast. You literally did just see a clip from it, and if you're still here at this point, you've clearly not got much going on in your life, so you may as well go to the link in the description, go watch my podcast, and subscribe, because that costs me a lot of money to run, and I'd really appreciate it if you went and subscribed, because I don't go down people's fucking streets and harass them into giving me content. I just do it on my podcast. No, I'm joking. We don't do that. We just have good laughs and good times, so please come subscribe. It's in the description. Thanks. It's actually probably on a box right here, right now. Just click on it. Cheers. Bye.